Alongside the insider, Pierre LeBrun here on the red carpet at the Hockey Hall of Fame. Pierre, general managers around the NHL taking advantage of this opportunity to gather together. Their meetings are going to start on Tuesday, but Team Canada took advantage of the day itself. They gathered for extensive meetings on the day. When it all started, there were about 90-plus potential names on Team Canada. Today, they whittled it down. How far down did they cut this?
Yeah, pretty significantly. Met with Doug Armstrong, the GM of Team Canada, after 9 hours of meetings for the Brain Trust. The Brain Trust, by the way, again, that includes Jim Nill and Kyle Dubas, Julian Brisebois, Don Sweeney, Scott Salmon, and Ryan Getzlaff. They cut it down to in the high 30s, is what Doug Armstrong said after 9 hours of meetings. Now, like he said, if a player that is no longer on their tight list goes off in the next 6 weeks, then they'll pay attention again.
Yeah.
It's not like someone
who's
no
not
longer,
a cuts list.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the reason that there's a material impact of what they're doing here is that the players that are still on this list will continue to get fresh eyes from the GMs going into rinks and watching them closely. So it is important if you survive the cut, so-called, after this meeting today. A couple of other important notes is that Team USA also met on this day on the same floor of the same hotel, but in opposite ends.
With the glass against the wall.
Yeah, opposite ends. Bill Guerin and his management group doing much of the same on their side. The other thing I would say on Team Canada is this. Ask Doug Armstrong about obviously the young stars that are pushing here.
Oh man, Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini, Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah.
Are these guys really on the watch list right now?
So what I'll say is, you know, back in September, Doug Armstrong told me, like, Celebrini and Bedard, they weren't invited to orientation camp for like a futures pick or for the next. No, they're invited because they might make this team. But he said to me at the time, they need to pop when this season starts. Well, he said today, they're popping. Celebrini's playing amazing. Connor Bedard's on a recent tear. And so what he said is they're heavily in their conversations. I personally don't think that it's likely that both can make it, but certainly perhaps one of them. And I think right now I'd give the edge to Macklin Celebrini. On Matthew Schaefer, because I asked Doug Armstrong specifically about Matthew Schaefer, I mean, the reality is he wasn't even on their long list in September. He had never played in the NHL. I mean, despite being the first overall pick.
But he's looked great.
As Doug Armstrong said, now he's on a watch list. I mean, he's forced their attention here in terms of how he's played. Again, this is me, not Doug Armstrong. I think it's a long shot for Team Canada to take an 18-year-old, but at the very least, Matthew Schaefer keeps doing what he's doing. He's forced his name into the conversation of the Team Canada Brain Trust.
Goaltending. I don't even know where to go with this.
Yeah.
It's like we had the sense that it's been wide open right from the start. Are we any closer to making any calls on that?
No, I mean, listen, obviously there's some things playing out. For example, Logan Thompson is playing the best of any Canadian goalie right now. And even though Doug Armstrong did not go into specifics, what Doug Armstrong said is this is still the most wide open part of our roster discussion. Kept saying wide open. So my impression is it's going to go right to the end. December 31st is deadline to submit the roster for all the countries. I think whoever's got the hot hand and goal for Team Canada has a chance to make this team. Now, Jordan Binnington, to me, remains a lock despite his struggles. He won the big game at the Four Nations. He's won a cup. So it's really a question of who else goes with Jordan Binnington. I think Logan Thompson has played his way onto this team. And then it's a question of who else joins Binnington and Thompson. At this juncture, Gino, it's November 10th. I should mention Team Canada meeting again, the Brain Trust in person the first week of December, at which point they're going to cut that group even further heading into that final month.
And you know what? Who the beneficiaries of all this are? Us as hockey fans and those who cover it, because now you've got some extremely talented players, really, really motivated to play really, really well right now, and they're not holding anything back for later on in the season.